And I ended up finding about the Starch Solution book. I ordered it. I was reading it. I found you. Then I watched the video with you and your mom. I thought your video was so wonderful with your mom. You were so kind and understanding with your mother, and I thought it was so wonderful. And I thought, maybe this girl could really help me because she's not going to judge me for being old and not being able to have figured it out by now. And I thought to myself, you know what, why not? I got to do this. So I said, yes, let's do it. And so that's how I ended up calling you or writing you and then talking to you on the phone, and you interviewed me, and hallelujah. My diarrhea is gone. My bloated stomach has gone way down. I've gone down a size in pants. The body is more happy. There's not so much inflammation going on inside. And my cholesterol, I had my numbers tested, and I wrote you about this because I was so excited. I went in and my cholesterol had been as high as 278 and it was 228. And my HDL was up and my LDL dropped by 10 points. And my triglycerides had gone down 30 points. And my blood pressure was lower. And my blood pressure, in fact, was 114/75, I think, which was excellent. And my doctor, I told her what I was doing, and she was so excited. Anyway, I'm really proud of doing this. It's been one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Today, I have the pleasure of sharing with you the story of my Slim on Starch client, Karol. Karol is a devoted wife, mother, and grandmother who is struggling tremendously with her health and digestive issues after having her gallbladder removed. Karol had tried everything to get the weight off, to solve the digestive issues, and was at her wit's end. She saw the story of how I helped my mother and the other clients that have gone through the SOS program, and she said, you know what? Why don't I just go for it? This story was extremely touching to film, and I'm really excited to share it with you. And thank you to Danny and Karina, who worked with me as coaches to Karol in the Slim on Starch program.
I had constant indigestion, constant burping, diarrhea, sometimes uncontrollable. I mean, this is personal stuff that who knows, who it will help or whatever, but my weight was always going up and down and up and down. And I was fighting all of the time to, I guess you could say, keep it within a range that I was okay with, but not 100% okay. And then I had this, I always had this stomach that I didn't like and everything. You just go on with life, and people really don't know. I mean, my husband knew, but that had been, it's hard to believe, but it had been going on for like 10 years or more. And I've seen a gastroenterologist. I couldn't really figure out why nobody could really figure out what I could do to help myself other than give me stomach medicine. They always want to give you stomach medicine for everything. And then if you get diarrhea, they want to give you the medicine to stop the diarrhea. And, I always wanted to treat the symptoms. I wanted to try to figure out what was wrong. And my wonderful doctor that finally told me after I spent several weekends in the emergency room that I had gallbladder disease. And he wanted me to do a test. I went and did my test, and yes, I had a completely zero function gallbladder and had evidently been that way for quite a long time. So I had my gallbladder out in 2015. And then I was really, really, really sick when I had it out. So it took me quite a long time to recover. A lot of people get their gallbladder out and 3 weeks later they're fine, but I was months. And then my doctor advised me, and this is where I get into how I got to you. My doctor advised me to just eat steamed vegetables and things without much oil and everything, because basically your gallbladder takes care of the fat to digest. Well, I didn't do that. I just went back to my regular life, once I felt better and everything. So I continued with all these issues of bile. They call it bile salts diarrhea, when you don't have any bile to digest your food and everything. And so I continued with all that. And besides all of that, I had high cholesterol. I had LDL, the lousy kind. I had a bad BMI. My triglycerides were borderline. So that was the way I was for a long time. And emotionally, I was just, you get so tired of it and frustrated with never feeling like you have any answers, and frustrated with certain physical ailments that allow you to not necessarily live life in the way that you want to. And my husband loves to travel. We travel a lot. We're lucky that we can do that. But there were times when, like, I'd have to take medicine to get to the airport and get on a flight because things were not acting, very well in my body and everything. So I tried everything. I tried Weight Watchers. I tried keto. I tried all of that. I tried eliminating grains. Somebody recommended that I just go completely off grains, that would help my insides settle down. I tried all of that. And so then I think you was thinking about, this has been a year ago, I was thinking about what my doctor said to me, that I said to you just a little bit ago, that I should maybe think about, I don't have this doctor any longer. He left the practice where we are. But I thought, he was such a good doctor. And he said for me to eliminate fats and high meat. So I thought, why don't I look around and see what's, do some research and see what's out there that would be that kind of food plan or that kind of lifestyle. And so I ended up looking all of that up on the internet. I ended up finding about the Starch Solution book. I ordered it. I was reading it. I found you on the internet. Mm-hmm. And I was like so many of your clients, I was like, I'm going to stalk Emmie for a while. So I stalked you. I looked at all your YouTubes. I just started looking at it all. And I kept thinking to myself, is this something that I could do? I just wondered, And then I watched the video with you and your mom. It's amazing because probably that's pulled a lot of people in that are, I thought your video was so wonderful with your mom. You were so kind and understanding with your mother, and I thought it was so wonderful. And I thought, maybe this girl could really help me because she's not going to judge me for being old and not being able to have figured it out by now. So anyway, I'll stop there for a minute.
That was so beautiful. That was really, really beautiful. I admire your vulnerability and your honesty and your openness. And it's something I hear very, very often from clients. They say, I'm this age. How can I not have figured it out yet? And, I was talking about something similar with my mom yesterday, unrelated to weight loss and food, another area of our lives. And she's like, I can't believe I'm this age figuring this out. And I go, well, who would have taught you? What class did you go to where they taught you about these things? She goes, you're right. Nobody ever taught me these things. So I shouldn't be so hard on myself. And I've been trying this whole time. So I'm really glad that you took the leap and you jumped in.
The other thing, and this isn't to blame anybody but I had kept meticulous notes for years about that. And I keep saying, if this will help somebody else, But I had kept meticulous notes for years about the date, the symptoms, how long it would last, what I would do. And I took all of this to a gastroenterologist specialist, not here where I live now, but where I lived overseas. And he looked at it all and he had no answer for me. He said, well, you probably, he had this, he had that. He had no answer. And I'm not blaming any people, but like your mother said, you would think that there would be some doctors out there that could look at your symptoms. And I had gallbladder disease for so long because I didn't have typical symptoms. All the doctors would ask me if I had a pain in my side. Did I have this? Did I have that? And I didn't have that. I had flu-like symptoms. So they all kept saying I had the flu. And so when it got really bad, where I live now, and I ended up in the emergency room, even the doctors in the emergency room thought they treated me like I flu. And my personal doctor was the one that looked at me one day and he said, because I told him, I went in and I said, if we don't figure this out, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to shoot myself. I said, I cannot figure this out. He just looked at me and he says, you have gallbladder disease. I can almost. And so getting past all of this, though, to the SOS thing, this has been like, I found it all because of reading the book, of watching your videos, listening to you, hearing what your mom had to say, looking at how good she was feeling. Also, she's menopause. I'm past menopause, but you're never past menopause. You always have some of the symptoms, and you always have the issues with low estrogen, and all of those things happen once you go to that period of your life. And I still wanted to lose weight, and my biggest thing was to lose some weight to lower my statistics. Is what I wanted to do, was to try to lower my cholesterol and everything. And so that's how I ended up calling you or writing you and then talking to you on the phone. And you interviewed me, and I said, should I really try to start this when I'm traveling so much and everything? And I thought to myself, what? Why not? I got to do this. So I said, yes, let's do it. And so it's been a year now. Next month, April, it'll be a year. Mm-hmm. And basically I'm in the last part of the master's program, and hallelujah.
Let's talk about that word, hallelujah. Tell me what that means.
Well, for me, it's, I feel so much better, 98% of the time. And the other 2% is my fault. And that's something that I kind of had to come to realization with Danny and Corinne, who were my coaches before I went to the level that I'm at now. But you have to get real with yourself, and that's part of the mindset. And I told Karina one day, I wrote her on my sheet, the mindset sheet. I said, I have to be really, really honest. And this is when she helped me figure out I was maybe not eating enough. I said, I'm grabbing chips, and I'm grabbing a cookie, and I'm eating things that, I shouldn't be eating. And I know that that's not helping me. And also it doesn't, when you're trying to help your insides, that doesn't help your insides. So I was sabotaging myself to a certain extent. And, I was honest with her about that. And she wrote me back, and she was so kind. And the people that you get to help you in this program, they all must take kindness pills or something, because she was so kind. She just said, we all do it. She said, we've all been there. And nobody's 100% of the time. And that's what we have to work with that. And you have to understand that, and you can't beat yourself up about it. You just have to say the next, that's back here. And now we go forward with the best that we can be. So I just kept saying that to myself, and some of your little sayings and stuff, which I'm sorry I can't remember right now, but I put them on that I had on my mirror in the bathroom. But let me talk about the biggest win. The biggest win I've had so far is when you say that hallelujah is basically my health. My diarrhea is gone. I don't experience it anymore. It was one of my biggest problems. And so I don't have it anymore. I don't have to, my bloated stomach has gone way down. I've gone down a size in pants and down a size in dresses. And that's mainly because I've lost 13 pounds. And, but a lot of it is just the body is more happy. There's not so much inflammation going on inside. And I know enough and have studied enough over all of these years of having this issue that the inflammation in your body contributes to so much of your ill health. And so I know that this is helping that. My cholesterol, I had my numbers tested last November with my doctor's appointment. And I wrote you about this because I was so excited. I went in and my cholesterol had been as high as 278 and it was 228. And my HDL was up and my LDL dropped by 10 points. And my triglycerides had gone down 30 points. And my blood pressure was lower. And my blood pressure, in fact, was 114/75, I think, which was excellent. And I was, I've heard other people say this too, you don't know what your doctor's going to say. And my doctor, I told her what I was doing. And I said, I've done this and I've quit eating meat and dairy and oils. And she was so excited and it shocked me almost. She said, I wish, I'm so happy you're doing this. This is wonderful. And I said, well, it's basically a vegan diet. And she said, that's great. It's just great. And then she said, I wish I could get more of my patients to entertain changing their lifestyle in order to help their health. They just want to keep going and hope that it gets better. And I said, well, I don't believe in doing that if I can find some way to help myself. So I'm really, my doctor's thrilled. And the other thing is that I don't have this constant thought about eating now. I've also told you this before, and I told Karina, I love to cook. So I'm one of those that likes all your recipes because I've really enjoyed all the recipes and everything. But at the same time, I don't wake up in the morning and think, well, what am I not going to eat today so that I don't put on any weight? What do I have to cut out? I don't think about that anymore. So yeah, it's really nice to not have that burden, all that to have to think about. It's more not of what are you going to eat, it's what should you not eat. I mean, I can eat potatoes and rice and all of these things that are really good and everything that I really like. And it's amazing to me that you can eat so many potatoes and rice and I don't miss meat. It's like, I don't miss it. And I'm surprised at that too, that I don't miss it. So anyway, I'm really proud of doing this.
Yeah, you should be. You really should be so proud of yourself, Karol. You proved to have determination and grit, and you would not give up. You would not take no for an answer. And so deserving, so beyond deserving of this health and this happiness, because you have worked very hard for it to finally find the answer. I'm so thrilled you did.
I just am so happy that I feel so good. And my doctor actually told me she's going to see me again in June. I have to have my numbers run again. I'll let you know what they are. I'm hoping my cholesterol is lower. I want to get it down like your mom did. But I will, I'll let you know. But she even told me, she said, you don't need to lose any more weight. And I said, and she said, well, you do you, but she said, you're fine the way you are. And my husband tells me I'm fine the way I am. But um, I I had hoped to lose a little bit more, but that's not, I think what the thing is that's not what I'm concentrating on. I'm concentrating on the fact that I feel so much better and my health is better and my numbers are better. And I just keep telling myself, just stick with it. As I said to Karina, you couldn't get me off of this if you told me that it was the worst thing in the world. You couldn't get me off of this. I am committed for this is me for life. I love it. And I feel good.
And what you needed more than anything was just relief in your mind and in your body and your digestive system. You were so worked up, and how could you not be, given these digestive issues? And so I love that you kind of surrendered to this process, allowed your body to rest, and now it's healing and it's healthy.
You have developed this program, and I have learned so much. And I thought I knew a lot because of all of my years of trying to figure it out for myself. I did an awful lot of research myself. I read other books. I tried other things. And but I have learned so much and then how to reward yourself with a day out with your friends or at lunch, and allowing yourself to have your primary foods and getting joy out of that when you don't have to worry about how you feel all the time. And that's another thing that, with the way that you've developed this program and the way that you've researched all of these areas yourself, when you get into the master's program, there's so much. You think you're done when you complete the SOS part, but there's so much more to learn and so many more ways to incorporate it into your life so that you never have to give it up. Learn how to incorporate it into your daily lifestyle, and have your primary foods and have your special meals and everything, the special dates that you can have with your anniversary or Christmas or whatever. All of that has been such a learning experience for me. And I think that sometimes you have to go back over it. And there's so much that it's almost like, oh, there's so much this week. I need to go back and do it a second time to gather it all in your brain and everything. So it's been one of the best decisions I've ever made. You have to, when I told my husband, I said, now don't think I'm weird, but because I have to admit, he's a meat eater and he has not changed. And I don't think he's going to, but I cook for myself, and then I cook, and you've actually had some videos and some question and answers things. And I cook for him over here, but I have a skillet without oil and everything going for me. And then I have a skillet over here going for him. And I know a lot of people don't want to go to those extremes, but it's okay with me. It's not that, it's just one more pan to wash. So it's not a big deal. But I think you have to just tell yourself that, anybody else that's listening to this, just tell yourself that you've got to do this for yourself. And I said to my husband, like I started to say, I don't want you to think I'm weird, but I think I need to try to do this. And he said, okay. He said, go ahead. He said, if it helps you feel better. And he has noticed a tremendous improvement in my stomach issues, in my esophagus issues, in my indigestion. He's noticed a tremendous difference. So he's all for it. He says, if it makes you feel better, you do it. I'm not giving up my meat, but but that's what he says. So it's good. And I just think you've got to do it for yourself. I know that you have to put some money into it and everything, but just don't do something else for a while and do this to make yourself feel better. I finally figured out something that works for me. And your program is it's amazing to me how many people with different sets of needs that it meets. People come for all kinds of reasons. I see all the testimonies and the Facebook page and the client results, and I read all that and see all that, and I think to myself, this program really, the lifestyle of eating vegetables and starch and everything really helps so many people. You just have to do it.
Yeah.
You have to kind of, and I would advise somebody, don't fool around with it too much, because the program straight away, the way it's set up, it's the best way to do it. It works. So there you are.
You said.
Thanks.
You've been nothing but a joy. So thank you
you
so much for this interview and for everything. You're the best.
Thank you, Emmie. Thank you for everything you've done.
Thank you.
All right. And I love watching your videos with your parents, so keep it up. They keep inspired.
I will.
All right.
If you want to work with me in the Slim on Starch program, click the link in the down bar, and I cannot wait to meet you. If you made it to this point in the video, comment devoted, because Karol has been such a devoted client. She's in the master's program now, and she continues to commit herself to her health so that she can be the best grandmother, mother, and wife in her family.